Tens of millions of people over 60 will get up tonight, 2, 3, 4 times, walk to the bathroom in the dark, and lose their sleep to it. And almost every one of them has been told the same 3 things. It's your age, it's your bladder, it's your prostate. Learn to live with it. For most of them, that is not the real answer. And because it is not the real answer, the things they try do not work. So they decide it is hopeless and they stop trying. And they spend years exhausted for no reason. I am Dr. Patterson. 15 years of practice, and being up half the night might be the most common complaint I hear that has the biggest gap between how much it wrecks a person's life and how simple the fix often is. People come in gray with tiredness, convinced something is deeply wrong, and a great deal of the time the answer is not a pill and not a procedure. It is understanding where the water is actually coming from at 2 in the morning, and it is usually not where you think. Today, I am giving you 5 ways to stop it. We count down from 5 to 1, and number 1 costs you nothing, takes about 20 minutes, and for a lot of people it is the single thing that finally gives them the night back. But watch for number 3 especially, because number 3 is the reason everyone blames the bladder itself. And I am going to tell you honestly where it fits in this picture, because for most people it is not the main event, and understanding that changes everything you do about it. Before we start, and I mean this, because it decides the whole rest of the video, I have to give you the warning signs first, not at the end. Right now, because for most of you, this is a simple plumbing story with a simple fix, but for a few of you, your body is waving a flag, and I am not going to let you click away before you hear which one you are. The red flags. Before anything else, most nighttime waking is a fluid and gravity problem, and I will explain exactly what that means in a moment. But it has a more serious cousin, your heart, and here is how you tell them apart. If any of these 5 are you, this video is not your next step. Your doctor is this week. 1. The swelling in your legs or the night waking came on fast, over days or a week or 2 rather than slowly, and you are short of breath with it. 2. You wake up gasping and have to sit up or stand to get your breath, or you have started needing more pillows just to breathe lying flat. Breathless when you lie down is a real cardiac alarm. Do not sit on that one. 3. Your heart is racing, fluttering, or skipping along with all this. 4. You have put on several pounds in a week or so without eating more. That is fluid, and fast fluid gain is a flag. 5. Any chest pain or pressure. That is not a video. That is a phone call today. If that was you, go and be seen, and there is no drama in it. The tests are simple, and it is the smart move. Everyone else, whose swelling is gradual, worse by evening and better by morning, on both legs about equally with none of those flags. The rest of this was written for you. And even for you, this does not replace a checkup. It sits alongside one. Fair enough? Then let me show you where the water comes from, because once you see it, all 5 fixes make sense. Where the 2 a.m. water actually comes from. Here is the thing almost nobody explains in a 12-minute appointment. Picture a water bottle lying on its side. The water spreads out. Stand it upright, and the water drops to the bottom. That is gravity, and your body obeys it exactly the same way. For the 16 or so hours a day you are upright, gravity is pulling fluid down toward your feet and ankles. When you are young, your body fights this easily. The veins in your legs have little one-way valves, and every time your calf muscles squeeze as you walk, they pump the fluid back up toward your heart. You are the pump. Movement is the engine. After 60, a few things quietly change at once. Those valves get leakier, the vein walls lose some spring, and the tissue around your ankles gets softer, so it holds fluid more like a sponge than a sealed container. So across the day, fluid seeps out of your circulation and collects in your lower legs. Often not enough to look swollen, just enough to leave a groove where your sock was, or a little dent if you press your thumb into your shin. That pooled fluid is a reservoir, and gravity holds it in your legs all day. Then you lie down, and the instant you go flat, gravity lets go. All that fluid drains back into your bloodstream over the next few hours. Now your body is carrying more fluid than it was standing up, and your kidneys, whose whole job is to keep your fluid balance steady, do exactly what they are built to do. They make urine to clear it. There is even a real hormone in this. When your heart's chambers Feel that extra volume. They send a signal telling the kidneys to offload salt and water. Your kidneys go to work. Your bladder fills. You wake up. And here is the cruel part. The fluid has not finished draining out of your legs. So 2 hours later, again, and maybe again, until morning when your ankles are slim and your sock leaves no mark, because it all left your legs overnight and went out through your bladder. That is why you can stop drinking at 6 in the evening, go to bed with a dry mouth, and still be up 3 times. You are not drinking too much. You are draining your own legs while you sleep. There is a name for the pattern, nocturnal polyuria, which simply means making too much urine at night. And in a lot of older adults, that is the real engine, not the size of the bladder, and not for most, the prostate alone. Now, the 5 fixes. Every one of them does the same job. Drain your legs in the evening, while you are awake and near a bathroom, so they are empty before you lie down. Number 5, move your fluids earlier. Don't cut them. We start with the one people get exactly backwards. The instinct is to stop drinking. People go bone dry from 5 o'clock on, and they still wake up, and now they are dehydrated on top of it, which is its own problem because being dry actually thickens your blood and can make everything worse. The fix is not less. It is earlier. Get most of your fluid in during the first 2/3 of the day, plenty in the morning and early afternoon, and then ease off in the evening. Small sips after dinner, not a full glass. Same total, different timing. You are not depriving yourself of water. You are just not loading it in right before the hours you want to sleep through. It costs you nothing, and it is the easiest change on this list to start tonight. Number 4, take the salt and sugar out of the evening. Number 4 is your dinner, and 2 things in it that pour straight into the bucket. One of them you cannot even taste. The salt first, not the salt shaker. The hidden salt baked into bread, deli meat, cheese, canned soup, anything from a packet. When you eat a salty dinner, your body holds onto water to balance it, and then works that water back out overnight straight through your bladder. A perfectly sensible-looking sandwich and soup supper can carry more sodium than you should have in a whole day, and you added none of it yourself. Then, the sweet evening snack. The biscuit, the bit of dessert, the sweet tea before bed. A sugary snack sends your blood sugar up, your body holds water, and a couple of hours later, right when you have fallen asleep, it swings the other way and your kidneys flush the water out. That swing can be your first trip of the night. You do not have to overhaul your whole diet, just the evening. Make dinner the low-salt meal and skip the after-dinner snack. That single change moves the needle for a lot of people within a couple of nights. Number 3, yes, it can be the bladder or the prostate. Here's where that actually fits. Here is the one I told you to watch for, because this is the thing everyone blames first, and I am going to be straight with you about it in both directions. The bladder and, in men, the prostate are not innocent. They can genuinely be part of this. As we age, the bladder holds a little less and signals a little more urgently. In men, the prostate commonly enlarges and can make it harder to empty fully, so you go more often and never quite feel done. Those are real, and for some people, they are a real piece of the puzzle, and they are worth having properly checked. I am not one of these people who is going to tell you the prostate is a myth. It is not. But here is why it sits at number 3 and not number 1. For most people waking repeatedly at night, the bladder and prostate are not creating extra urine. They are just the container the urine arrives in. And if the real problem is that your legs are flooding your circulation at 2 a.m., then a bladder that holds less and a prostate that is a bit enlarged will make you feel it sooner and more urgently. But they are not what is filling the bucket. The leg fluid is. That is why so many people get treated only for the bladder or the prostate and stay stuck. The treatment is aimed at the container while the water keeps pouring in from somewhere else entirely. Both can be true at once. You can have an enlarged prostate and nocturnal polyuria, and if you only fix the one nobody looks at, you stay tired. So here is what to actually do with number 3. Get it checked, genuinely. A proper look at the bladder and, for men, the prostate is worth doing. But do not stop there. And do not let anyone tell you that is the whole story until the leg fluid side has been looked at too. Treat the container and turn down the tap. Quick pause, because this is the natural spot. If this is the first time the nighttime trip has actually made sense to you, that it might not be the bladder everyone kept pointing at, tap that like button and subscribe. It honestly helps this reach more people lying awake right now. And tell me in the comments, does your sock leave a groove by evening? I have a strong suspicion about the answers. Now, the two biggest fixes. Number 2, wake the pump up morning and through the day. Number 2 is about keeping that reservoir from ever building in the first place. And it comes back to the pump. Remember, your calf muscles are the pump that sends leg fluid back up toward your heart. After a whole night lying still, that pump has been switched off for hours, and after a whole day of sitting, it barely runs. So you prime it, deliberately, twice. In the morning, before your feet even touch the floor, do 30 ankle pumps lying in bed, toes up toward your shins, then point them away, slowly. That switches the pump on before you stand and starts clearing your legs from the very start of the day. And through the day, every time you have been sitting a while, stand up and do a slow set of calf raises, up onto the balls of your feet and down, 10 or 15 of them. Every single one is a squeeze on your leg veins, pushing fluid up and out before it can pool. If you sit for hours on end, that fluid has all day to collect, and then all of it floods back at 2 a.m. Break the sitting up, and there is far less to flood. This is exactly the movement from my video on what to do before you get out of bed. It does double duty here, and it costs you nothing but a minute at a time. Number 1, legs up before bed. This is the one that costs nothing. And here is number 1. The one I promised you costs nothing, takes 20 minutes, and gives more people their night back than anything else on this list. And it is almost embarrassingly simple. Put your legs up before bed. About an hour to 90 minutes before you plan to sleep, lie down, on the bed, on the couch, on the floor, and put your legs up. Feet on the arm of the sofa, on a stack of cushions, or flat up against a wall. The goal is to get your heels above the level of your heart. Stay there 15 to 20 minutes. And while you are there, pump your ankles slowly, 20 or 30 times, and circle them. Here is what you are doing, and it is the whole secret of this video. You are using gravity and your calf muscles to drain your legs now, on your schedule, while you are awake, 20 feet from a toilet, instead of at 2 in the morning through your sleep. That fluid that was going to flood your circulation at night, you are sending it back early, on purpose. So 20 to 40 minutes after you do this, you will feel a strong urge to go. Good. That is the trip you just moved out of the middle of the night and into your living room. You empty your bladder, then you get into bed with your legs already drained, and there is far less left to wake you. That is it. No prescription, no device, no cost, just gravity, used on purpose, at the right time. For a lot of people, this one change alone takes them from 3 or 4 trips down to 1 within a couple of weeks. And if your legs visibly swell during the day, ask your doctor or pharmacist about proper compression stockings put on in the morning. They stop the fluid pooling all day, so there is far less to deal with at night. But ask first, because in a few conditions, they are not the right move, and the fit and pressure matter. Never sleep in them. Walter. Let me tell you about someone I will call Walter. He is a blend of several patients I have cared for, so nobody's privacy is on the line. But this conversation happens to me constantly. Walter was 71, retired engineer, and he came in the way engineers do, with a page of data, every nighttime trip, written down for 6 weeks. He had already given up coffee, stopped all fluids after 5 in the evening, and he was on his second medication for it, one of which left him so lightheaded he had to steady himself on the wall on the way to the bathroom. And the number would not drop below 3. Some nights it was 5. He said something I have not forgotten. I solved load problems in steel and concrete for 40 years. I cannot solve my own bladder. So I stopped asking him about his bladder, and I asked about his legs. Did his socks leave a mark by evening? He turned the page. He had a column for it. Did he get short of breath on the stairs? A little, he said, but he assumed that was just being out of shape. Now, that second answer is exactly why the first thing we did was not a stretch routine. It was a proper checkup. Because leg swelling plus breathlessness on stairs is the kind of pairing you get looked at, not the kind you treat from the couch. So he got assessed properly first. His heart turned out to be essentially fine. The breathlessness was mostly deconditioning, but we would never have known that without checking, and finding the leaky leg veins that were the real engine was the whole point. You check, and then you treat. Once he was cleared, we did the whole list. Fluids earlier, salt out of dinner, ankle pumps morning and through the day, and the big one, legs up for 20 minutes before bed. I will be honest about the result, because I always am. It was not instant, and it was not a cure. But within a couple of weeks, he was down from 5 trips to 2. And a month or so in, most nights, it was 1. He emailed me, 2 lines. The first night he slept the whole way through. He said he was annoyed it had been that simple. I told him it was not simple. It was just finely aimed at the right place. The honest caution. Before I let you go, the part I would say in my own office. Go back to those 5 red flags at the start. If any were you, the fast swelling, the breathlessness lying flat, the racing heart, the sudden weight gain, chest pressure, the evening routine is not your answer. A doctor is this week, and even without them, get looked at. Being up all night has more than one cause, and some of them matter. The prostate is genuinely worth checking in men. Untreated sleep apnea can do this. Diabetes can do this. Some medications, including certain water pills taken at the wrong time of day, can do this. Only a proper look sorts out which is yours. This video helps you understand it and gives you something safe to try. It does not replace the appointment. Do not stop or change any medication because of a video. If you are on a water pill and wondering about the timing, that is a good question. For your doctor, not a decision for tonight. And never let a video, mine included, talk you out of getting a real symptom checked. Knowing beats guessing every time. Recap. So there they are. 5 ways to stop the 2 a.m. trip. Number 5, move your fluids earlier, not less, earlier. Number 4, take the salt and the sugar out of the evening specifically. Number 3, yes, get the bladder and prostate checked, but know they are usually the container, not the tap, so do not stop there. Number 2, wake the pump up with ankle pumps in the morning and calf raises through the day, so the fluid never pools. And number 1, the one that costs nothing, legs up for 20 minutes before bed, drain them while you are awake, then empty your bladder and sleep. And here is what I want you to carry out of this. The reason nothing worked before is that everyone kept aiming at the bucket. The bladder, the prostate, cutting your water, all of it aimed at the container, while the water kept pouring in from your own legs at night. Aim at the right thing, the legs, the timing, the salt, and the whole picture changes. So tonight, do number 1. Legs up, 20 minutes, an hour before bed. It costs you nothing, and it might be the first full night you have had in years. Now, I said a salty dinner and a sweet evening snack are quietly working against you, and I only gave you the short version because there is a whole side to this. There are specific evening habits, some of them things you have been told are healthy, that wreck your sleep after 60, and a couple of changes that genuinely help you sleep deeper and wake less. In my next video, I will walk you through the evening routine that actually protects your sleep. I will put it right here on the screen. I am Dr. Patterson. Drain the legs, not the night, and go get that checkup. I will see you there.